Welcome to the Hard Rap Cafe. I'm your host, Rocky Dennis. On this week's episode, co-hosted by Smoke God, I'll be interviewing the legendary DJ and producer Jay Swiftz, originating out of East New York and coming of age in 1980s Brooklyn, waking up to gunshots. Raised in close proximity to AZ and J. Rue the Damager. From childhood friendships to industry relationships, such as Papoose, DR Period, Busta Rhymes, Fresher, Boot Camp Click, and Wiz, just to name a few. And his first record deal with Payday Records and label mates Group Home, before moving to Virginia and continuing his music legacy. So tune in as we tap in with Jay Swiftz. All right, man, here we go. My man, Jay Swiftz, man. Welcome to Hard Rap Cafe, brother. It's been a long time coming. How you doing, man?
Man, I'm maintaining, you know, do what I do. How your brothers doing?
Jay Swiftz.
What up?
All right, Jay Swiftz, my nigga, man. Long time no hear from, man.
Yeah, for sure. What's good with y'all?
Man, holding it down. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt. Last time I seen y'all was when we was doing our little 1-2, you know what I'm saying, at my old crib up in the beach.
Yeah, we want to get it. The killer tape, man, the infamous.
Yeah.
We want to let the people know who you are, man. So if you could give a little background on where you from and where you came up at.
I'm from Brooklyn, East New York to be exact. Jay Swiftz, a lot of cats know me by Jay. So I came down to Virginia back in the 80s, became to visit some family members. And at this time, I was still dipping and dabbing to figure out, you know, as a young youth, what I'm trying to be in life. And music just always been my go-to thing, man. You know, my sense of relaxation, you know what I'm saying, and a better lack of words, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, Jay Swiftz out of East New York, Brooklyn.
So you say you touched down in Virginia in the 80s. What was Brooklyn life like before you left? You know what I'm saying?
Man, it's the same thing like it's going on right now. A bunch of chaos, man. You know, as I got more wise and older, you know, I wanted to stray away from all the wildlife, you know what I'm saying? And that's why at the time, the sister I was with when I had my son, we migrated down here. It was a different atmosphere compared to New York. You know, I got tired of my son going to school and hearing the sirens. I used to actually wake up to gunshots at 6 o'clock in the morning. That's when I knew it was time to get up. So that's how it was in Brooklyn.
Where exactly in Brooklyn were you located?
I was in East New York. So I lived right around the corner from AZ, J. Rue the Damager. Then so on, when I came back down here, I discovered that, you know, a lot of more people from the East. You know, you got Young M.A., you got Uncle Murder. It's just so many people from East New York. It's so many to name. But yeah, I'm from East New York.
Yeah.
So okay. For my projects, you know, you got Fresher. You know, I know Fresher. Fresher is related through family, and then his little cousin, which is I forgot his little cousin name that be singing and stuff too. But there's a whole bunch of them cats around from the Bambas. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. Speaking of such, I got to visit. I mean, I got to meet a couple people through you. You know what I'm saying? And the homies from East New York. And speaking of such, we're gonna get into this topic a little bit later. I know Danger was gonna bring it up, but I just wanted to know is Papoose from East New York? What part of Brooklyn he from?
Pap is originally from Queens, but then Pap moved to Bainbridge. He's from Brooklyn. He's from more like Bed-Stuy area. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So yeah, Pap is from there, from that area. You know, a lot of cats. So East New York and Brownsville is pretty much like how you cross over to Hampton and Newport News, like one street. That's how East New York and Brownsville is. But Pap is more like going towards a little bit downtown, like where Jay is from.
Did you have any relationships with any artists in New York before you left, or did that come later?
Nah, before I left. Majority everybody I have relationships with is when before I left down here.
Oh, okay. And who were some of the artists that you came across? I know you named some names, but did you actually work with or build with when you was in New York?
Yeah, man, it's a lot. Bus, You know what I'm saying? Busta, plus AZ. I'm trying to see. It's just so many, man, and this is so far long ago. You know, a lot of the boot camp cats. Those some of them is actually really family members. So it's too many. It's too many people to list off the top of my head. I would have to actually write it down to see. But that's a good question.
You was also in a group back in the early '90s with another one of my homies from East New York off of Shotfield.
Who that?
The homie Wiz. What's up?
Amar. Yeah, he changed his name to Amar Pep. Wiz, I speak to Son every day. It's funny you mention him. Yeah, so me and
y'all have a deal with Pat, and y'all had like a little deal with Payday.
We had Payday Records, exactly. We had a deal with Payday Records. The same, and actually Jay Rue the Damager was the one that actually plugged us in with that, because Jay Rue was on our label. You know, shout out to Dino Devalle. You know, Dino believed in us and gave us the situation. But yeah, so we definitely did have a deal with Payday Records. You know, I'm behind a lot of people's careers. I just don't, you know, flabbergast or talk about it because I don't. That's, you know, I just do stuff from the heart, man. You know what I'm saying?
And we know that, but that's why we're here to talk about, you know, some of this stuff. You know what I'm saying?
But listen, what's up with the homie Wiz? You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of you got a lot of people don't know, but that was the homie too. You know what I'm saying? And at the time, like, he had a very unique voice. To me, he was kind of pigeonholed because he sounded like Rakim. You know what I'm saying?
Indeed.
Not just, he was sort of like Sean. He just didn't rap like him, but his voice, just regular talking, was like Rakim. So it was kind of like, that was everybody kept saying. So he was kind of pigeonholed. I feel like that's kind of why he didn't really take off, maybe. And then he kind of just fell back, it seemed like, and you kind of kept going with the music. Is that true, or did he still keep pushing? Because
go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's it.
So Amar's still definitely doing this thing. Amar's actually Wiz. So and I just wanted to let people know. So he's definitely doing this thing. He did some production on AZ. You know what I'm saying? On AZ first album. There's a lot to that. I would get into that later. But that's my homie. That's my childhood friend. So we speak on not every day, every other day, and we just, you know, have a little dialogue or whatever. But for the most part, he's still active doing this thing. Right now, he wrote a book. He very into health and fitness and, you know, stuff like that. So he's doing this thing. He's still doing music. You know, we just had a conversation just last night. We just talking about the music thing, but he's still active. Amar definitely he's always been wicked with the pen, you know what I'm saying? He did some behind the scenes stuff too, you know what I'm saying? Maybe I could get y'all to interview him and he could tell y'all his story. I could definitely line that up. But
definitely.
Yeah, but he's definitely doing this thing though. But go ahead, bro.
So listen, bro, let me ask you this: staying in New York and dealing with the some of the relationships that you built musically, do you remember your first placement on a project, and how did that make you feel?
My first placement actually was Amar. It made me feel good because probably before we had to deal with Payday Records, we actually punched up our own records, was called a record called Escape from East New York. So we did that, recorded. I actually did the beat. Amar did one side, I did the other side, and then we just actually we pressed that up, and then from there, that's what people started, because people knew about the chemistry that me and him had. Because with him came from his crib came AZ. You got King Shaheed. King Shaheed was the one who introduced me to Latif. So you got King Shaheed, you got Top Dollar, which is from Brownsville. You know, you got Shabar. It's so many people that actually came from that house that branch off to do their own thing. And I'm still in contact with a lot of them. So, you know, Amar Crib was actually the one that had everybody bridged there.
Was it like there was an issue with Latif getting like a placement on AZ first album?
Yeah, he did.
He had moved to Manhattan.
He did a joint on AZ, but I don't think he actually did a joint with AZ and Nas, but it didn't make the album.
Yeah.
So he definitely been around. Like Latif is definitely a pioneer, you know. So the more we get into it, man, so many other names that will come up, you know, in the history with that, you know, because then you got to talk about DR period, you know what I'm saying, which is who I met Pap through, you know what I'm saying. So it's just so much history through the whole dynamics of the music, you know what I'm saying. So
you, Plex, and Latif had a strong bond back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And y'all fed off each. I just remember all y'all three of y'all feeding off each other. You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy because you spoke of Plex. I heard this little story he did on here, and that's not exactly what happened, but we can get into that.
Nah, let's get into it right now. So, what discrepancies you might have?
Hold up, no, first, start from the beginning. Your story from you meeting Plex and start from there.
Okay. So pretty much everybody that I met here in Virginia, it migrated from my cousin. Everybody, Miles C, everybody, it all originated from my cousin.
And who would your cousin be? That's
my cousin is Cassine.